Joe Paterno is not only an outstanding college football coach, he exemplifies the leadership and motivational qualities it takes to be successful. And he has a message for Chevrolet salespeople.
You know, I think coaching a football team is very much like selling cars. And let me tell you a little bit about football and our approach to it. First thing I've got to make sure everybody understands in our outfit is that football is basically a morale game. Number one, it's played with the head and the heart, and secondarily, it's played with the body. And you got to have morale. If I've got morale, if our squad really believes in each other and they want to do things well, we've got a chance to play as well as we can. If we don't have morale, we don't have a chance to play up to our potential. So I've got to have morale. That's absolutely essential. You've got to have morale. You can't sell cars, you can't run an organization like Chevrolet, you can't go in there and compete with other people unless you got morale. Now, what's morale all about? I think basically morale's three things. It's pride, it's loyalty, and it's discipline. Now, let me tell you a little bit about pride. A lot of people think pride's tough to come by. I don't. I think pride's very easy. I think everybody has it. Everybody wants to be somebody. Hey, you want to be great someday? All right? You got to pay a price to be great. It doesn't come easy. And it doesn't come by practicing when you feel like practicing. It comes by practicing everything you do right. When I get my squad together, first day of practice, and if this were my team right here, right now, all you guys around here ready to go to work, the first thing I tell you is what I tell our squad. 10 years from now, you guys come back here from whatever you may be doing, have a little reunion, you go downtown, have a couple of beers, and you start telling each other some stories about how great you are and how great you were. You're just going to start reminiscing a little bit. You're going to start thinking about the old coach. And when you get together, you're going to say a lot of things about me. You're going to get together and say, boy, you remember the day when that son of a gun made us do this? You remember when he drove us? And you remember when that SOB really made us go harder than we ever thought we could go? You may say those things, okay? But you're never going to come back. And 10 years from now, sit around and say, you know, we really wanted to be great. We could have had a super football team. We really had it, except Paterno didn't drive us hard enough. He didn't make us work hard enough. He didn't make us go that extra mile we had to go to be really great. The other thing I think we do with our squad that builds up pride is we're not afraid to be different. Some of you have seen us play football. All right? Now, you look at our uniforms, and we've got probably the worst-looking uniforms in the country. We have no stripes. We don't have any stars on our helmets. We don't have any numbers on our helmets. We're as plain as we possibly can be. And a lot of times kids will say to me, hey, Coach, can't we do something to jazz up these uniforms? You know how kids are today. And we don't do it because I want our guys to know, all right, that they have a uniform that's different and unique. And when we play, people know who we are. They see us go out on the football field and they know who we are. I make our kids wear socks to class. Now, a lot of you guys will laugh about that, but you haven't been on a college campus lately. But I want them to wear socks for a couple of reasons. I like them to wear socks because when they sit down in that classroom and they look at the guy next to them has dirty feet, sandals, and the girl next to him may not even have shoes on, all right? They know that they may not be better because socks don't make any better. But they know they're different. They know they're unique. There's pride there because they're Penn State football players. That's a way to break that huddle. Sound like a football team. Good lineup. Everything right now. Now, the next thing I think if you're going to have morale, you got to have loyalty. It's one thing I will not put up with guys who shoot their mouth off all the time. Now, we've had our problems at Penn State, but you've never read in the paper probably about anybody from Penn State getting in a jam because we've been able to keep our people together, that they appreciate each other's problems, and they're not going to go off and start telling everybody all about our business. And I'm a bug about loyalty. And maybe I got that from a guy that, another skinny Italian guy from Brooklyn who happened to be the greatest coach that ever lived, and I don't mean to put myself in his class, but a guy by the name of Lombardi. And he really believed that loyalty and people keeping things themselves was absolutely vital. The next thing I think that's absolutely vital is discipline. Now, a lot of people don't quite understand what a coach means when he talks about discipline. I think they think that we're talking about a guy that goes to bed at 11 o'clock, he gets up at 7, he's a yes sir, no sir guy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about discipline. I'm talking about a guy that can go on a practice field and every minute on it do everything right, do all the little things right, over and over and over. He can discipline himself to get better by constantly performing every little thing as well as he possibly can. And I don't think if you don't have that kind of discipline, you can't have poise. You can't play well on a Saturday if you got 77,000 people watching you play, all right, and you haven't done things right over and over again. Because all of a sudden you got a big play, something you've got to do exactly right, all right, and you haven't paid the price to do it. I didn't know the play, but I knew you were going that way. No, you're leaning, you're cocked a little bit that way. All right? When I'm on the practice field, I've got to pay attention to every little detail. The little things are the important things. If we take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. When I go out there, there's no sense thinking that an offensive lineman can go out there and make a block unless he's got the right stance. He's got to have proper balance. I've got to correct every little thing about that stance till it's perfect. When he has that, then he can go out and he can explode into a defensive man. He can make the block. All right, now you got a chance. All right, now you got to play, Pat. That's the same way in your business. You got to pay attention to detail. You want to sell a car, it's got to be clean. The showroom's got to be nice. You have to look good. You've got to make the approach the right way, the little things. And you keep banging away. One sale, another sale, and then boom, all of a sudden things break loose. You want to sell X number of cars in the Chevy organization this year. I don't know how many millions and millions you're talking about. But you got to make the first one first. You can't be worried about the 10th millionth car. You got to be worried about the first one you're going to sell. You got to pay attention to the little things. Every sale is the biggest sale. Every first down for us is the biggest first down. If we get first downs, we'll get touchdowns. And we won't get first downs unless we pay attention to little things, and we won't get touchdowns, the big things, until we've got the little things mastered. Get the 4. Don't be looking for the home run. The home run will take care of itself. All right? The home run will take care of itself. Got to get first downs before you get touchdowns. There's something else that I think is vital if we're going to have a great football team, or we're going to continue to win at Penn State, or you're going to have a great organization out there, and with the Chevy situation, what it is, where you're number one and you want to stay there. I think you got to convince yourself to keep your mind on the job. I don't know what you want to call it. For me, I think it's just as well you call it a directed work effort. I cannot sit around in our office with a staff of 8 or 9 coaches and moan about things we can't do anything about. So many times you get in there and guys start griping about this and griping about that, and you're losing time. You haven't got time to worry about those things. You know, I don't believe much in signs. We don't have any signs in our locker room. As I said earlier, we don't have any fancy things on our helmets or anything like that. And probably the only sign I've ever seen that I thought might be worth putting up was a sign I saw in a high school coach's office back up in Peekskill, New York, a long time ago. And this guy had just a simple desk and a simple office. He had this big sign over the desk, and it said, "Don't gripe about the kids. They're the only ones we have." And I think there's an awful lot to that sign. Don't gripe about things you can't do anything about. All right? You've got to concentrate on what you got to do. That's the way it is with us. He can't be waiting for you to get to him. You've got to try to beat the quarterback in the hole. Whether we give it to you or we don't give it to you, all right? You get up there, you're up in the line of scrimmage, and you're flipping around. Let's go. You go out there and do the things we've talked about. Make sure that you're ready to perform the best you can and go out and sell the automobile. Don't worry about what else is going on. Keep your nose to the grindstone, keep a directed work effort, and go after that customer, attack them. Same thing we got to do. We can't worry about other problems. We got to keep right after the things we can do something about. Have a directed work effort. Keep popping away, and you guys don't get discouraged. Don't go outside, concentrate on the little things, and boom, we'll get one. Let's go. That's a good job. Good job. Good play. Okay, now we've got pride. We've got loyalty. We got discipline. We've got a directed work effort. We got all these things. We've paid attention to the little things. We're ready to go. We've got ourselves focused in on what we want to get done. All right, now we need something that's vital. We've got to have confidence. We've got to believe in ourselves. All right? I think people smell confidence. I really do. I think that if we come into a locker room, if I walk into a locker room before a football game and I don't really think that we're going to win, honestly, sincerely believe it, my team will smell it. Because I really think people can smell confidence. I think that's what's made some of the great coaches great. A guy like Bear Bryant puts that little hat on, he stands by that goalpost, he reeks confidence. His squad smells it. People across the way who play him smell it. That's what we've got to have. And you've got to believe in yourself. If you go in to make a sale and you don't really feel that you've got the best car, if you don't believe it, that customer's not going to believe it. When we put together a game plan at Penn State, I look each one of our coaches right in the eye and I say, now, is this the best game plan we've ever put together? Do you really believe that? Because if you don't, we're going to stay here till midnight till we put together the best game plan we possibly can. Because when you walk out of this office, and if you're the wide receiver coach, and you're going to coach the wide receivers, I want you to really believe this is the greatest pass game we could ever put together. Because if you believe it, you'll teach it that way, and our kids will believe it. Got to have confidence. Let me tell you a story. We were playing Kansas in 1968, actually 1969 Orange Bowl. It was after the 68 season. We had an undefeated football team. Kansas was a Big 8 champion, a fine football team. Pepper Rogers was the coach. We're down in there, and we get late in the ball game. About a minute and 30 seconds to go, we're losing 14-7. Kansas has got a punt. Mike Reed, our great defensive tackle, later went on and played with the Cincinnati Bengals. He goes in, he partially blocks the punt, and the ball goes out of bounds this far into Kansas territory. I'm right on the 50, and I can look in there, and there that baby is, about that far in Kansas territory. I look up at the clock. There's a minute and 18 seconds to go. We've got 2 timeouts of our own left, and now we get a free timeout because when the game's being televised, you get those commercial timeouts, like those Chevy commercials I see on ABC all the time. So now we've got 3 timeouts. We got a minute and 18 seconds to play. We're only down by 7 points, and we only have 49.5 yards to go. We're in great shape. Kansas got some problems, but we're in great shape. Okay, now what are we going to do? I get a hold of Bobby Campbell, kid who played flanker for us and running back, and who was a great competitor. I got him over here on this side, and I got Chuck Burkhardt, our quarterback, right here. So here's what we're going to do. I said, Bobby, on the first play, I want you just to take off and run through the goalpost. Just take off and run right through that safety, make him think that we want to get on the board in a hurry with one big play. Chuck, you take that football and just throw it as far as you can. Make sure you don't underthrow it, because I don't want an interception. All I want those babies to think is that we're trying to get rich quick. All right? Now, on the next play, we'll take Ted Kowalik. We had a great tight end in those days. Ted was a 6'4", 230-pounder. He ran a legitimate 4.6, and he was a great competitor, great runner. I said, now the next play what we'll do is we'll take Bobby, let him run the same pattern down the field. Chuck, you go back, tell Ted to delay until those linebackers flush out, then just dunk that ball to him. He'll catch it. He'll take off through that secondary. He'll run over a couple of people, and we'll be down to the 20-yard line. Call timeout. We're in great shape. Now Kansas got problems. You guys are impressed out there, aren't you? Pretty good, pretty quick. You didn't think Italians could think that fast, huh? Well, I was impressed. I thought that was great strategy. Because you only got X number of seconds to do it. Well, here's what happens. Campbell looks across me and says to Burkhardt, hey, Chuck, I'm going to be at the goalpost. The ball better be there. Burkhardt says, hey, big mouth, the ball will be there. You better catch it. I said, hey, fellas, come here. Look, never mind. I don't want your heroes. Do it my way. Campbell turns to me and says, hey, Coach, relax. We got this baby in the bag. And a lot of you guys wonder sometimes what the coach is saying to the players as they walk out on the field. You see them on television, and that last bit of advice. I got those 2 characters, and I'm telling them, hey, if you guys throw an interception, you're walking back to Pennsylvania. All right? So here's what happens. Burkhardt goes back to throw, and just as he's about to let that baby go, here comes John Zook, their big defensive end, and he really lets him have it. But Burkhardt is so zeroed in on getting that baby on the mark. He doesn't even see him, and he lets go of as tight a spiral as you'll ever want to see. Campbell's got a stretch to reach it, so he grabs it, he's overextended, stumbles, we're on a 3-yard line. We take it in, we score, we go for 2, and we don't make it. But Kansas has got 12 guys on the field. We get another shot, we score, we win the ball game 15-14. The point I want to make in this story is this, though. Campbell believed in himself. He really wanted an opportunity to prove it. He had dreamed about the big play. National television, Orange Bowl, millions of people watching him. He wanted that opportunity to make the big play, win the game. And he didn't want some skinny little Italian coach from Brooklyn to deprive him of it. And that Burkett, the kid who couldn't throw well, he didn't want to cop out. He could have done it my way. He could have said, Coach, hey, that's great strategy. All I got to do is just dump that ball to Kowalik, and he runs it down to the 20. I don't have to go back there and put the ball right on the money downfield. All I got to do is dunk it to Ted. That's the easy way out. No way. He wanted a chance to win. He wanted to make the play. And that's what you guys have got to do. You've got everything going for you. Right? And an opportunity presents itself. Don't be afraid to take a chance to make the big play. Be big. And you can't do it unless you're willing to take a chance when you get an opportunity, just as those two kids did. They believed in themselves. Believe in yourself. And the other thing I think that's great about the thing I'm in is competition. I love competition. You know, it may sound paradoxical if I tell you that I don't really care whether we ever make #1. We want to strive to make it. We want to work hard to do it. We want to set that up as a goal. But I would never want to make #1 if I had to play it close to the vest, if I had to be afraid to take chances. To me, life would be boring then. I think the fun of life is when you're willing to take things on and take some chances and enjoy competition. You know, if you didn't have good competition, there wouldn't be anything to really work for. You know, if you're a 9.8 sprinter and you're sprinting against guys that sprint 10.2, you're going to sprint 9.9. If you're a 9.8 sprinter and you're going up against a guy who's a 9.7 sprinter, all week you're in those blocks. You're trying to get out a little bit faster. You got to get moving, all right? Because you know you got to be at your best. So love competition. Enjoy it. You're part of the greatest organization in your business. You're #1. You got everything going for you. The greatest cars, the greatest trucks, everything. So be like our guys. They get themselves in a frame of mind, they pull up their pants and they say, look, baby, I've paid the price. Let's get going. Let's see how good you are. We know how good we are. That's where you are. You've got everything going for you. You're selling a Chevy car. You're ready to go. You've got the best. As I tell my squad, baby, go get 'em.